Welcome to the Wandering Wardells. This video today is going to be about my top 3 cruise ports and why. Now with that being said, I want to make a distinction between this video being about the cruise ports themselves and not a reflection of the island. If I was doing a video about the island, my list would be completely different than what you're going to see today. So specifically again, this is about the cruise ports themselves. With that being said, I won't waste any more time and stick with me and come wander with the Wardells.
Wandering, wandering, wandering Wardells. Wandering, wandering, wandering Wardells. So dream about your next vacation and I will be your guide. And share with friends and hit the like, then ring the bell, subscribe.
So I just wanted to say a few more things, as I always do, before we get into my top 3. I just wanted to talk a little bit about why a cruise port itself matters. I mean, don't we get off the ship so we can travel around the island and see a bunch of things and go on shore excursions or take our own private transportation and see wonderful new things that we've never seen? Certainly that is true. However, I want you to really think about it for those of you that have traveled a lot. Once you have traveled a lot, you certainly have a rinse repeat on islands. So once you've done all that you can see, it's certainly nice to have a cruise port to actually kind of call home, somewhere to be more low-key. This is also important if you're just tired or you're on an extensively long cruise ship and you just don't feel like spending a lot of money that day. So you just want a good place to kind of park yourself right by the ship, stretch your legs a little bit. So those are the reasons why these cruise ports actually can matter to you. Won't waste any more time again, so let's go to shore. So number 1, we have just got off our transportation down the long dock, or for those of you that are more ambitious, you have walked it. Not me. Number 1 is Tano Beach in Puerto Plata, sorry, I almost said Punta Cana, Puerto Plata, Dominican Republic. And I gotta tell you, it is absolutely stunning. You will first come to a duty-free shop, and once you walk through that duty-free shop, this is where the beauty kicks in. This cruise port is only about 3 years old, and the first things I noticed when I got through there is how expansive it really is. This cruise port is absolutely huge. Now this cruise port actually holds 3 ships, and on the day that we were there were only 2 ships at port. However, with that being said, the vast size of this cruise port certainly could accommodate more, and I guarantee you that it will not feel congested like many of the other cruise ports. As you continue to walk along the cobblestone, you will see many stores on your right, beautiful stores in fact, all line the whole right of the cruise port. You will also notice that there are many different sand seating areas throughout. They really try to give this cruise port a really nice beach feel to it. Now the one thing this cruise port does not have is an actual beach that goes right into the water. So instead of that, what they have is many different sand lookout points that look right out into the water, into the beautiful ocean. I gotta tell you again, it is absolutely stunning. Now you continue along and you'll notice that this whole cruise port is also lined with bars. Doesn't matter if you drink or not, that's not the point. These bars are actually majestic. Just the way that they have set them all up, and the high ceilings and the various unique features that each of these bars have. Again, absolutely stunning. You continue to move along and you come up to the pool. Now this pool again is huge and again, nothing short of beautiful once again. As you continue along past the pool, which again, as I said, is very large and beautiful, there is another feature that is in here. And this feature is actually a lazy river. Now the lazy river itself runs all throughout the entire property. It kind of winds its way around the exterior of the property and is actually really nice and again, large. The best thing about this lazy river is that it's completely free to use. You do not pay for tube rentals, you do not pay to go into the water. That is something that never happens anymore. So that was an amazing thing about this cruise port. I can tell you that I could spend all day in this cruise port, and we did spend several hours in this cruise port, just to have a lazy day, feeling very tropical and enjoying ourselves. The family went through the lazy river a few times actually. We really enjoyed it. Beautiful, beautiful cruise port. Now I know I said this is all about the cruise port, but I also want to talk about another factor that actually matters with the cruise port itself. And that is the walkability factor. This cruise port is absolutely within walking distance to so many little amenities throughout Puerto Plata. And the reason why that matters for me is, quite frankly, it's a huge cost-saving measure. It also allows you to pick and choose just a couple little things should you want to leave the cruise port for a little bit and actually spend the rest of the day at the cruise port. So I want to talk about a few notable things that are very close by. The first thing I want to point out is there is actually a cable car and a very large mountain, and the cable car actually goes up it, and that is a beautiful lookout point over the ocean. Certainly it is very, very cheap as well to use, and it's only about a mile away from the cruise port. So cable car, gondola, you pick your poison, whatever you want to call it, that's what it is. 1 mile away from the cruise port. Another couple notable things is there is a street right in town, downtown Puerto Plata, called Umbrella Street. And Umbrella Street is exactly what you think it is. It is a whole street lined with umbrellas where they have a bunch of cafes and shops. It is absolutely stunning, kind of worth the walk, because the walk itself is less than 10 minutes away from the cruise port. There are also many, many shops right around that area, so if you want to get a better price than the shops that are in the cruise port, that certainly is close. Right kind of very close to that is another street called Pink Street. And Pink Street is exactly what it says it is. It is another street that is actually pink. Again, because you're right there, certainly you want to check that out. It's a good photo op circumstance. So for those of you that love pictures, this is a great place to get pictures. Again, all in the same area as Umbrella Street. The other thing I'll point out is I said earlier that there's actually no beach right in the cruise port itself. But as luck would have it, if you leave the cruise port and you turn left, again, very walkable, within 5 minutes or so, you come to a string of beaches on your left-hand side that if you wanted to actually be on the beach, there are beach people out there, then that certainly is available to you, again, all on foot. So again, that is why I love this cruise port. I want to stress also as well that I have another video about this that I just posted recently. So if you do want more details on this cruise port and on Puerto Plata itself, then certainly please check that out. Number 2. This next cruise port is Grand Turk in the Turks and Caicos. Now, Grand Turk, I'll just say a few things first. The Grand Turk itself is a very, very small island, and there's not a ton of different things to do on this island. They certainly do have some shore excursions, and I'll say more about that in a few minutes. But it is actually a small island, like I said, with very minimalistic type of activities that you can do there. So that is why this cruise port matters. And I gotta tell you, this cruise port again is absolutely stunning. So let's go to shore. Okay, welcome to Grand Turk. We have arrived. Beside us, you'll see the Carnival sunrise, so that's here as well. And then just behind us is our ship, the Carnival Venezia. So, just a couple things of note. We are going to show you all the things that we get up to today. We do have an excursion book today, so we're going to tell you more about that in a little bit. And then right behind us, as Michelle zooms in, you're going to see a beautiful beach actually right at the cruise port. Once you come to the duty-free shop again, you will absolutely love this cruise port. It is again pristine, well kept, no filth, no garbage anywhere. It's absolutely beautiful to walk through this cruise port. It is lined with many, many shops, including some name brand shops, if that is your thing. And of note, there's actually a Starbucks for all you coffee drinkers. And I know that when I was there, I've been there a few times, I certainly did get a Starbucks. The other thing that I want to point out as you continue to walk through this cruise port, it is all beachfront, as I just mentioned earlier. And it is lined all the way down a mile-long pristine beach. Now, unfortunately, they do charge you for chairs here. And at the time that we went, they were $20 a chair with an umbrella, if you had 2 people, certainly. And they did tell me that you do get a discount on drinks if you get the chairs, but I call BS on that. However, it is a beautiful beach, and you can actually see your ship in the background, again, as you just saw at the onset of this video. The other thing of note is this particular cruise port has an absolutely stunning Margaritaville. And in fact, it is the largest Margaritaville in the Caribbean. The pool is completely expansive beyond belief. So many places. Seating is free. I want to add that to it. They even have a flow rider off to the left if that's your sort of thing. Not mine, but if it is your sort of thing for a fee, they do have a flow rider right on property. Now, as per all Margaritavilles, or most of them anyway, the one thing that they do very well is they have DJ all day long, a DJ I should say, and they have music just blasting through the property. So it certainly keeps the party going, so to speak. And again, absolutely breathtaking. So this cruise port, again, number 2 for this reason, because it absolutely, again, is a place that you can rest and relax for the day, chill out, whether you like the ocean right there, or whether you like the pool area with all the loud music. You can find a quiet spot or a party spot. Pick your poison. And I will also add one more thing. Now this particular island, I won't really say it's walkable because there isn't a lot of things to walk to. There aren't a lot of things to walk to. But what is kind of nice about this island, as I mentioned, the shore excursions. Now, because it's a smaller island, most, if not all of the shore excursions actually pick you right up from the cruise port itself. And when I say pick you right up, you actually start your activity from the cruise port. Versus many other larger islands, you certainly have a long way to travel sometimes to get to your shore excursion. So the one thing that we did when we were on the island is we actually rented a golf cart, and the golf cart was very reasonable actually for our family of 5, and it was roughly an 1.5 to 2 hour tour around the island. Absolutely worth it from my opinion. So if you want something low key to do, then certainly that is something worthy to check out. I will also add finally that again, we have posted 2 other videos on this island, so feel free to check those out if you want more information. Number 3. Now this particular island is a bit of a cheat. This particular cruise port is a bit of a cheat, I will admit, because it's actually a privately owned cruise port owned by Carnival Corp. So the actual island itself is actually privately owned in the Bahamas. And that is Half Moon Cay in the Bahamas, again owned by Carnival. Now I've included that as a cruise port versus an actual island because it's privately owned. So if you want to judge that, well, I'm sorry. I gotta tell you, this is my absolute favorite island as far as anything that is kind of privately owned with nothing more to do than kind of beaches, shops, and just kind of hanging out around the island. So with that being said, let's go to shore. So it is early morning and we are on our way to Half Moon Cay. We are just leaving the ship as we speak on a little boat. Well, not that little. And this particular boat is pretty empty today, this morning so far. The reason being is because this is only for the people that have shore excursions at this moment. So we have early departure. off Moon Cay.
Not much to say.
So if you look to your left, you'll see a pirate ship. That's where they are hosting the majority of the day's activities, very family-friendly activities. And since it's just the two of us, we just elected to kind of just chill out here. Directly behind me, you're gonna see a bunch of different colored little shack-looking things that have numbers on them. And you can rent those out for a fee through Carnival for the day. I can't remember what the price was, I definitely looked, but they were very pricey. And as you keep moving down and panning, this other side, you'll see the main beach bar, which if you zoom in, you're gonna see the Budweiser sign. That is the main beach bar. And so we are, like I said, on our way back out. And I want to stress, no joke, this is the most beautiful beach that I have ever been to in my life. As you just heard me mention, this water is crystal clear. I can't stress that enough, how absolutely beautiful this place is. You will love it here. They do have activities that are run all day long, or most of the day, I should say, in that pirate ship, as I mentioned earlier. And the other thing that they do provide here, because it is owned by Carnival, is they absolutely will provide lunch that is included in your cruise fare. So again, it keeps it relatively cheap. I also want to add that the chairs are absolutely free here, unless of course you rent one of the more expensive cabanas. But this place does fill up very, very quickly. So I want to stress, if you do want to get a decent seat on the beach, then you certainly want to get there super early. Try to be one of the first to get off the ship. And as you saw, obviously earlier, this is one port that they actually don't have dockage for because of the depth of the water, etc., etc. I'm no expert, but the bottom line is they tender you in, as you saw, on a boat, which is kind of interesting if you've never done that before. I kind of enjoyed it. The tender only takes about maybe 15 minutes each way, so it's a beautiful short ride. It's not crazy rough. It does go through narrows very quickly, so certainly is beautiful. So that was the first time that we were there, all of the things that I've said so far. We have been there another time as well. Now this time was extra special because we actually met a couple on board the cruise ship that for some reason, they offered us a very, very expansive, amazing experience on this island. And I think this took the cake for anything I've ever seen before. This was called the Oasis, and it wasn't a cheap excursion, but they paid for it all for some reason again. This excursion included all your meals, all your drinks. They had butler service. They had a hot tub. They had an entire lounge area where you could just go chill out. It had your own private entry right into the ocean with your own private lifeguard. Absolutely breathtaking. I can't stress enough how beautiful this place was. Now, if you're ever interested in something like the Oasis, I can tell you that there's only one on this island. So if you actually do have that type of money, and or if you're going to be splitting it with a whole bunch of people, which will bring the cost down, then certainly I would suggest booking this crazy early because there is, again, only one. So I also want to just add two more things, just that there are two videos. Those are my two things. That there are two other videos that I've posted about this magnificent island. So if you want more information, feel free to check back and have a look at those.
Are you having a good day?
Well, what do you think? I'm at the Oasis. So thanks for watching this video, folks. I hope you enjoyed it. I want to let you know that the next video I'm going to post is going to be our top 3 islands in the Caribbean with, again, all of the whys. I want to appreciate everybody out there that actually watches these videos. It really does help. We are a newer cruise channel and we are really trying to get viewership. So again, thank you so much for watching and keep on wandering.